What is up, guys? Rick Hack is here with some insane new information about what is coming with patch 1.1 to The Division. Now, for those of you who might not know, patch 1.1 is bringing with it a ton of free content to The Division. Mainly, it's going to add Incursions. These are essentially the end game levels that are coming to The Division, very comparable to the raids in Destiny. There's also going to be a bunch of changes to the game. There's going to be assignments, which are these kind of weekly quests that you can embark on. And there's also going to be significant Dark Zone changes. In fact, they're actually adding the idea of supply drops. So there'll actually be supply drops that come down in the middle of the Dark Zone, and there's going to be AI that guards it, and whatever team kills that AI and loots that supply drop is going to get a special reward. And that reward actually is just awarded straight to you. You don't actually have to extract it from the Dark Zone, and your entire squad will get that reward. But if there's any other squads nearby, you better see who gets it first. In any event, there's also tons of changes to the loot table. That information has just been released, and that's what we're going over today. And I'm just gonna say that the chances to get high ends have been drastically increased. So the summary patch notes that we're gonna go over include: firstly, the main change to the loot table coming with this patch, and guys, I'm not making this up. Increased drop rates of high-end items on named NPCs. 100% drop rate, actually. So what that says is now, when you kill a named NPC, so if you kill a boss in the Dark Zone, if you kill a boss just in normal PvE, they are going to have 100% drop rate to drop a high-end. So you are now, with patch 1.1, guaranteed to get high-end items whenever you kill a named NPC. That is going to be insane. That is a massive change to the loot table. Secondly, there will be an increase to drop rates of division tech to make it less of a bottleneck than it currently is. That is going to overall help out with crafting items. Next, they will modify loot tables for each named NPC to make the hunt for loot more controlled. What this is saying is that specific enemies will drop specific rewards, very similar to a game like Borderlands. So if you want, let's say, a high-end Scar H, you go into the Dark Zone and find one of those snipers, find Hawkeye, and if you kill Hawkeye, they'll actually usually drop the high-end Scar H. So you're actually going to be able to tailor where you go in the Dark Zone, where you go in the world overall, compared to what you actually want, which is, I think, that can be definitely a good thing. Again, a lot of other loot-based games, Borderlands being the one that really comes to mind, use that method, and it is useful and accepted as pretty good in those games. Next, there's going to be substantial changes made to the crafting system, basically in order to make it a little bit more difficult to attain crafted items. The first change is going to be an increase to the conversion costs of lower quality materials to high quality ones, making it harder to convert low quality materials into high quality ones. So instead of taking, 5 blue weapon parts to turn into 1 gold weapon part, it's now going to take, 15 blue weapon parts to turn into 1 gold weapon part. So if you're watching this video, you should definitely hop on the Division before this patch is installed and go and convert all of your weapon parts and all of your different materials overall. Next, there's going to be a decrease to construction yields, making it less interesting to farm lower quality items in order to obtain crafting materials, because you'll get more high-end items as a whole. So you won't really be able to grab a bunch of crappy purples from the Dark Zone just in order to take them back, dismantle them all, and get those blue materials, because they're going to have less drop rates for those blue lower-end materials. And lastly, there is going to be an increase to the cost of crafting high-end items, because high-end materials will be so much easier to come by. Now, when these details were announced, they kind of only talked about that they're going to increase the drop rates, and then they're going to do these changes to the crafting system. And certain people and places like Reddit were in an absolute uproar, saying that this is going to ruin the game, that it's going to make it so that crafting is impossible, and now it's going to be so hard to get the loot that you want. However, with 100% drop rates on named enemies, I don't think this is an issue. I actually think this shift is a good one, and I am in favor of these changes. I would rather have the drops actually come from looting in the game, killing an enemy, and then seeing a high-end drop. That's what I want, rather than standing at the crafting table, constantly converting materials and just making 70 different vectors and using the best of the best of the best. I don't really like that method. However, crafting is still going to be in the game, and it's still going to be a viable option. Now, with all these changes making it harder to convert materials, hard to get materials, all that stuff, you've also got to remember it's going to be so much easier to get materials because you have 100% drop rates for high-end items. Like, that changes everything. Every boss you kill now is going to drop a high end. So those high ends are still going to be able to be broken down into high end materials. High ends, when broken down, drop high end materials. So converting now is basically a non-issue. Before, like in the game right now, all you can really do is convert items. Like, you just convert blue to high-end items, materials, and that's really the best way to start crafting in the game. But if high ends are dropping with that much of a frequency, that again is going to be non-issue anymore. It's no longer going to be worth it to get all of these old items and try to convert the materials. It's just now going to be worth it to just dismantle your crappy high-ends and use their materials directly. So I really actually don't think that crafting as a whole is going to take that much of a hit. They have to nerf it because if crafting was in place as it is now and the drop rates were increased this much, the game would basically be over. I mean, you'd get the best possible roll on absolutely everything because materials would be so easy to get, and then again, you would just walk around as this mega killing machine and you'd be basically done with the game. So they do have to lower, how crafting works somehow if they're going to account for this high of an increased drop rate. But I'm very interested to see how the game is going to function now with 100% drop rates to named enemies. That's going to be absolutely insane. That's gonna change how the game functions, and I wonder, like, what's that gonna do for the Dark Zone? Like, is there actually going to be 100% drop rates for all the bosses? I mean, that's what they say in the patch. That's going to be absolutely insane. Extracting, 9 high ends? I wonder what that's going to do for rogues, now that basically if you're in the Dark Zone and you kill someone, you're basically 100% guaranteed to see a giant glowing orange gold pillar shooting into the sky because everyone's going to be walking around with high ends now. It's going to be insane. This is a huge change to the Division, and I am looking forward to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this informational video. I hope you find it helpful, and if you did, please remember to simply help me out by rating and sharing this video. Now, if you want to see more Division content from me, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.